How's it? Good day. How's everybody doing? Gee, looking a bit fluffy today. Here we go. Right. Next step in my vaping journey. We talked about my first RTA, my first rebuildable tank atomizer, which was the Emmet, and that was a mouth to lung atomizer, as we all know. There's that lid. Here we go. And now we're gonna talk about my first direct lung atomizer. Now, some of you might know I am a follower of a chap which is called Victor Mullen, and he has a channel on YouTube which is called Vaping with Vic, and I am an avid consumer of his videos. His videos were basically the first videos which got me on the road of rebuildable tanks and the whole idea of vaping and what mods are and what different mods are and make mods, and I like the way he does things. I like the way how he presents it. I like the way how he works with it, and I like his Scottish accent. So that was basically my first videos which I consumed. And when he brought out an RTA, I thought, all right, need to support this guy, and looks like a neat RTA as well. And here it is. That's the one. It's called the Kelpie RTA, and it's a single coil rebuildable tank atomizer, direct lung. And I guess the best thing to do to show what this is all about is we take it down to the table. We waffle along, we get off camera, we fall over ourselves, but in between all these very comical situations, I'm able to show you a little bit of what the Kelpie looks like. So here we are with the Kelpie. Quick walk around what it looks like. Here we go. Has a bit of branding right on top there. It says Kelpie, and we have the famous Kelpie horse on the chimney right over there with a kind of a castle tower at the back, which obviously should signify Scotland. And otherwise there is no branding on that, and that is wonderful. I like that. I don't like stuff which is over branded. So it comes with an 810 gun-style drip tip, which means any other gun-style drip tip will fit on this. The lid is a sliding top. If you look at it here, you'll see there's a little arrow. So all you do is you flip it open and you put your juice in here. That in principle is not a bad idea. When I'm back upstairs, I will tell you why it's also not necessarily a very good idea. Like everything, it has its advantages and disadvantages. Then I have the bubble glass on, and it also comes with a straight glass. And then we have a look at the chamber right over here. It is a dome chamber, and it looks very well machined. Now keep in mind, this is well used. I use that for a month. So the glass comes off just like so, and it obviously has the O-ring right over here. And then let's have a look at the deck. Very interesting. Maybe we should just screw it on a mod, then it will be easier to see, easier for me to muddle around with. Here you go. So you have from the top you can see what the airflow is constructed like. It is wide, very wide, right around the whole deck. And that means your coil should probably cover all this, otherwise your airflow will go on the outside, airflow will go right past your coil. Also interesting, if you look in the center, you will see that the holes are slightly smaller than the holes which go more to the side. And according to the Swiss physician Bernoulli, this will help with the Bernoulli effect, which means the hole is smaller and the same amount of air has to go through, then the jet will be stronger. It's like kind of a hose pipe when you put on the hose pipe and you put the finger on over the top of the hose pipe, you see the water goes further. Same principle. So that's what Vic has done here. It came with different screws. The screws which were Phillips head screws, and we all, including Vic, agreed that these screws were absolutely useless. And from the second batch onwards, they actually came with the hexagonal screws, which we see right over here. Right, so I would say let's put a coil in here and see what it does. Right, as you can see, let's go a bit closer here. Here we go. Let's put that here. We do the famous coiling around the camera trick. Let's see if this will work out. So what I have here is a triple fused Clapton 26 core, 3x26 core and 36 wraparound. And who knows how it comes out, probably around about anything between 0.25 and 0.3. So the way you put that in, very easy, you just make it a bit skew and then you can slide it in from the side. And if you look at the side right over here, you will see it has a little step over there. There we go. Has a little step over there, so that helps you to keep your coil in place. Let's see how that works out. Right, we'll take our first leg and we screw it in. So we have a bit, I don't like that. I will move the leg a little bit more to the inside. Here we go. Well, we can finagle that coil obviously afterwards. So, and we will do so. Right. Here we go. My thing with flat wire and screws from the top is that it grips very nicely. Do the same thing on this side. Here we go, just out of the screw a little bit. Make sure it is grabbing very nicely. There we go. Yeah, I think that's screwed in good enough. Let's just get rid of the excess coil, excess wire. Try to get in here with the wire cutter. Want to make sure you cut that nice and close so it won't make a connection with your chamber. Otherwise you will have a short that we don't want. Of course nobody wants. If you want to make sure you don't have a short, you can just put the chamber on there and screw it on. And you look here, it says 0.22. Here we go, that's what we're coming out in. And it stays at 0.22. If the chamber would touch anything, it would fluctuate. Take the chamber off. Still 0.22. Right, what we're going to do now, we're going to slowly bed it in. Shouldn't be too much of a problem since it is a spaced coil. Maybe let's see what the position is. Maybe we want to fandangle the position just a little bit. Let's see. A bit more in the center. Here we go. Maybe a bit down as well. It's a bit high. Still more down. That, I think I can go with that. So what you can see, here we go, 2 millimeters. I'm happy with that. Coil is more or less in line on top with the posts. And what you can see here is that I have spaced the coil. The reason why I've spaced the coil is because I want the coil to cover all the air holes. We talked about that earlier, that the air holes are going wide across the bottom of that deck. So we obviously want to make sure that the coil covers all the air holes to get maximum flavor. Right. So what we're going to do now is we'll bed this in, just a few pulses. Here we go. See, it's coming. Just let it cool down again a little bit. Let it cool down a little bit. Let it cool down a little bit. Go, glowing from the inside out. That's what we want. So we just let it cool down. Get a bit of wick. Oh, I still have a piece left here. Why not use that? I have this, which came with some other item, I don't know which one. Oh, I still have it here, so why not use it? There we go. Let's put it through here. That feels perfect. We cut it, well, more or less here. Same on the other side. So I just rested there at the bottom against the base, and that's how I cut it. Right. Back into the middle you go. Now, in order to get these wicks in the way we want, we need to, because this doesn't have a retainer ring, we need to wet it. What I use for my juice, just a quick shout out to these guys, One Shot. That's what I use. Milk chocolate caramel nougat. So that is the flavor, and I just mix it with the other ingredients and make my own juice, and that's what I'm doing. So what we're gonna do, let's go up a bit so we have some more space to work with. Here we go. Right, so we're just gonna wet the wick in order to be able to fold it in the way we want to. You will see in a minute that there is method to my madness. Let's suck it in a bit. Here we go. Right, then we take our tweezers and we fold the wick, place it in here. Let's do the same on the other side. Now what you see here is I put the wick in, but I left a space at the bottom. That is very important. If you don't do that, you'll get dry hits. So you need to give the juice a chance to come in. Wick himself used the dam method, which meant that he only placed cotton right on top. I tried that with my first wick on this, and boy, did this thing flood out. Yeah, so then took some tips from some other guys, and I saw that the semi or half dam method probably works best. So in other words, you can put cotton in here, that's fine. Just make sure you have a hole at the bottom, because that hole at the bottom makes sure that you get juice in here. Now we wiggle this top cap in, and this is always, that thread is not the best on here. Edge bow, here we go. You first turn it back to make sure that there's no wick in the thread, and once you hear the click, you just put it back on. Then obviously to put juice in, you open this up, make sure that your 810 is not on there, because it will be in the way when you put the juice in. And now we put some of these lovely juice in here. There we go. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your Kelpie, wicked up, juiced up, and ready to go. See you guys upstairs. And here we are back on top with the Kelpie wicked and ready to go. Sorry, didn't mean to do that in the camera. Right, works like a bomb, wicks very nicely. Rocket on the Aegis Legend. Here you go, which is a tank which will be last hopefully a long time, and it's also nice and heavy and sturdy, so I'll also use it as my building platform. So I don't have a build stand right now, so that's my build stand, and it works very well. Right, there are a couple of things on the Kelpie which I would like to tell you. You heard me talking about that sliding top. That is something which, if you consider buying a Kelpie, if you're still lucky enough to find one because they are not in production anymore, that is if you carry it in your pocket, be prepared for this to slide open. It's unsecured. You get sliding tops which are secured. This is not one of them. So it will slide open in your pocket, and your pocket will be full of e-liquid, and it's not a nice feeling. I have experienced it. So that's something to look out for. The other thing, we talked about the screws. They're actually, you know, it comes with Phillips screws, even the second edition, but it comes as backup screws. It comes with these hexagonal screws, and they work very well. The tank can be emptied in a very short amount of time, so it's not huge. But apart from that, you know, it is a lovely tank, and the flavor you get out of this, I mean, you saw the coil which I put in, which is just a triple fuse Clapton normally, and I'm a cool vapor. I vape this at around about 50 watts. Here you go. You probably can't see on that front camera, you can't see properly. Anyway, it's 50 watts, you take my word for it. Not bad for a single coil, I would say, and it just tastes delicious. I really think Vic built a very nice tank, and I'm sure if he would have his chances, he would probably have his top sliding top. He would rethink that. Some of the atomizers who have a sliding top have a ring, kind of a securing ring here, or any other securing feature which makes sure that the sliding top doesn't slide open. Or just my favorite of all of them is a bayonet. I think that's the easiest way. The advantage obviously of the sliding top is you can just slide it open. You take one hand with the juice. You don't need to put the lid down somewhere. It stays on there, and once you put it, you know, you just close it shut. But then it needs to have a securing mechanism. When it doesn't have that, it's not easily transportable, because every time you have it nudge against something, the sliding top might open up and you end up with a mess. That's obviously you don't want. Well, here we go. So I had a chance to give you an idea what my journey was, and my second atomizer was the Kelpie single coil RTA from EH Pro and Vaping with Vic, and I'm very happy with that one. It's still in my rotation. I rock it on a regular basis with my other atomizers. Love it. Well, thanks very much for popping in, and you guys keep on living that vape life. Cheers.